The first script was called The Opening Bell. It's about a feral clan that started in Chicago, ended up on the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. They adopted a black girl in the early 70s. She doesn't want anything to do with the industry. She sees what the industry is doing to her father, physically and emotionally, and jumping forward, she ends up being one of the best traders on the CBOE. And then the end of public outcry, in the early 2000s, she opens up her own hedge fund. That's when it gets exciting.
Why did you take up writing as a profession?
Well, when I came up with this whole idea about bringing the floor, the trading floor, to the big and little screen, I had to write a script. And so I worked with a gentleman and a writer, and he had no knowledge of the terminology or anything to do with the floor. So that was kind of a struggle for both he and I. And I started writing all the trading scenes. And then it was just kind of a domino effect from there. I was thinking of ideas off the floor, storylines, and that's how it all really started. I just was kind of pushed into it. I was pretty naive at the time, because I thought I was just going to tell him my idea and he was going to write a script and 3 months later hand it to me. But it was nothing like that. I had to, had to work with them every single day. And basically I ended up writing pretty much of it, of the first script.
Why is it important for stories about the financial markets to be written by financial market professionals?
The floor was unique. You really have to, you would have to really work on the floor to understand the floor. Just the whole, like I said, the language, and can't see someone writing a story about the floor if they never have worked on the floor. The vast majority of my friends are still from the floor. So that's, when it comes to the financial genres, speaking for the floor, that's what I want to bring to life. This is how, like, say, the so-called journey began. I just wanted to keep the floor alive, and this is the best way to do it, is to bring it to the big and little screen.
Have there been other good stories about the floor?
I would have to go back to, the mid-'80s with Trading Places. And that really it has nothing to do with the floor, other than it shows the floor, as a background. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think there's a scene where one of the characters or actors is pretending hand signals, like he's imitating the floor traders. Then you have the regulars, Wall Street with Michael Douglas. But no, what I've done is, with my projects, is make the floor the main character. Just like if you watch Yellowstone, the ranch is the main character. Then what happens from that, the storylines blossom from, like in Yellowstone, from the ranch. I'm doing the same thing with the floor. The floor is the main character. It's the hub. And then I'm building the storylines from there.
Which of your stories is your favorite?
I will say, The Opening Bell. And actually I have another script. It's called The Floor. Actually, the first script I did was The Floor. The second one is The Opening Bell. The third one is called The Front Runner. And it's about a guy who in the early 90s cornered the futures market and the 30-year in the Board of Trade, and basically almost put L. Stern out of business. And he did all of this in 15 minutes from the opening. So that's again, I've been really enjoyed writing the last one, called the Front Runner.
Why are you sharing your script with John Lothian News?
I think it would be a good piece to have to add to your newsletter. Obviously, your newsletter is all about the financial markets. I think it would be extremely entertaining, and if once they start reading the script and getting involved in it, or I'm hoping, I should say, that people would reach out to me and say, hey, I've got a story to tell you. That's one part. And then, making movies and TV and reality shows and documentaries, they're not free. So if anybody wanted to, invest in this genre, this space in entertainment industry, I'd be more than willing to talk to them. It's an exciting time right now, John. I mean, this space is completely empty in the entertainment world, and I'm going to I'm jumping in to take advantage of it.
What is Mogator Media Capital?
Mogator, it was the name of our softball team on the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. We were called the Mogators. So that's why it's Mogator Media Capital. It really comes down to one thing, and that's keeping the floor alive, keeping the memory alive. There are just so many stories out there ready to be told. I could say thousands, and that might not even give its due. And so what I'm doing is trying to, again, get the word out that this is what I'm doing, obviously, and wanting the people to say, hey, Danny, I've got a story that'll knock your socks off. So they share the story with me, and what my opinion, and let's just say it's a positive opinion, I would say, write a script. The script is written, and then, I take it from there with my connections in the production, with production companies. The other is investors. Like I mentioned before, it costs money to make films. So if anybody is interested in investing in this arena, I'd be more than happy to discuss, what I'm working on at that time. If that still keeps the attention of that individual, then I would introduce them to the producer, director, the principals of the production company, and they can really get into the explanation of what to expect if they go ahead and invest.
What is Pencils with Erasers?
Pencils with Erasers is about having ex-Fluor traders come on and tell their story. How did they get in the industry? Who they worked for? Again, how much did you get paid back then? And then it kind of goes right into stories from the pits, stories from off the floor, interviews with people from the New York Stock Exchange, from the American Stock Exchange, CBOE Board of Trade. So it's more just talking about memory lane, and it's just a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
What other projects are you working on?
I have a reality show that just got greenlit. Actually, not just, it's been greenlit, but I'm focusing more on that now since I'm done writing the script for the front runner. And also I have come up with an animated idea about the floor, and I'm talking to a producer with that. And there you go, John. I got to answer your question. That's the next script. I have to write a 30-minute script about this animated idea I came up with.